It makes it's seeing listen to that makes me dance. So I'm in the background. I'm just doing do. Welcome, Clown Planet Daily Wrap Up. Steve Cunningham, Sensus Fidelium coming at you at 10:15 p.m. A little tardy, as always. The 8th of October, 2025. Good evening, ladies and gents, boys and girls, and children of all ages. Mark, Mark, and the Funky Bunch is already in the chat room. Yes, as he says, these shows seem to be pretty easy to do now that the world has gone crazy. It takes me not long at all to do a show prep. Also, it actually takes me longer to stop. It's not finding the material, it's not making it a 12-hour show. That's the hard part. I could easily do this literally for 6-7 hours, have fun doing it, and we'd still just touch the ice, just tip of the iceberg on this stuff. Okay, let's get right through with the main kit and caboodle. We talked about this yesterday. I have some more information on this. You've probably seen it. It's funny how the people I mostly listen to, Last American Vagabond, something like that, are so far ahead of the other alternative media. Redacted has started picking up on this. If you've seen their channel, they did a little bit more today on it. But I actually saw the PDF they used. Was it yet? They did that this morning. I saw that thing yesterday or the day before. Anyways, if you listen to the mainstream media, you're 3 weeks at the earliest, tardy, maybe 3 months. If you listen to Tucker, about 3 months behind. And that's, hey, Tucker's coming around, I guess. He's just catching up. If you listen to mainstream media, you are so far behind everyone else. It's not even funny. It's like I wouldn't. It's like the Yankees versus the White Sox right now. How about that? Anyway, let's get right to it. Yesterday, we talked about the show Faith by Works LLC, which is a nice Protestant group, by the way, that never likes having faith by works, but has a group called Show Faith by Works. It's just hysterical to me. Anyways, let's look at this as Decensor News goes. Israel is hiring a San Diego-based firm called Show Faith by Works LLC to target American Christians with Zionist propaganda. Let's look at some of the details of this multi-million dollar scheme as revealed in their recent FARA filings. And here's everything's all highlighted right there, just to let you know that is real. Look at the country region representative, Israel. Name of foreign principal, Israel. Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Name of registrant, Show Faith by Works in San Diego, California. There's the name of the official register there. Describe the full activities and registrant engages in or proposes to engage on behalf of the above foreign principal. Christian outreach through various grassroots and digital targeting of Christians in the Western U.S. We will create a mobile museum to display at churches, Christian colleges, and Christian events. We will target and distribute pro-Israel information online and through targeted geofencing. Remember what they did at the Kirk thing, which they literally said the day after, well, yeah, we geofenced it so we could see how many people were there. By the way, did you know they already had the venue rented out back in May of this year for that weekend? That's what, because I was asking people, how in the wide world of sports do you rent out a stadium, an NFL-sized stadium, that quick and have everything ready already? Well, the answer is, boys and girls, they already had it rented out. Take that as however you want to go with it. Look it up. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Tell me I'm wrong. Show me I'm wrong. I would love to be shown I'm wrong. We have the evidence for it. We will target and distribute, we already said that, and digital online tools. We will have teams of people reaching out to churches and pastors and possibly even Christian social media influencers. Some of this is still undecided and fluid, but these are the outlets we have planned and proposed. Great googly moogly. Encouraging Christians to have a more favorable view of the nation of Israel and to encourage Christians to visit Israel for tourism purposes. Combat low American evangelical Christian approval in the nation of Israel. Now, thanks be to God, they are not even thinking about us. This is all going after the Proddies right now. There is a increased positive associations with the nation of Israel or State of Israel, while linking the Palestinian population with extremist factions, use biblical arguments to highlight the importance of Israel and Jewish people to Christians, increase awareness of Palestinian ties to Hamas and support for terrorism within the evangelical populations, counter new and evolving pro-Palestinian messages as the global narrative shifts. Here's what does the Bible say about supporting Israel today? Join the discussion. Crosswalk forums. Target locations: densely populated Christian communities from Southern California, IA-based HQ, throughout California, Arizona, Nevada, and greater Denver, Colorado areas. California has 40 million residents and roughly 18 million estimated church-going evangelicals, because they have to steal the word Christian. Arizona's two largest regions, Phoenix, Tucson area, Tucson South, and Flagstaff North. Nevada, Las Vegas and surrounding cities in the south, and some Reno in the north, in the Denver, Boulder, Colorado Springs, Colorado area. Just shows some of the things: podcast, pastors, social media, podcast activities. You see it all here. You can see it on the screen. Pastoral education and resources. Messages to pastors and Christians about Israel. Moral superiority. Question the long-standing policy of the two-state solution. Here's the anti-Palestinian stuff, talking points. Targeted geofencing strategy. We brought this page up yesterday. The largest Christian church geofencing campaign in history. So what would happen is, say you are going to the local church of what's happening now, and they're in on the program here. First Baptist Church, whichever, now in Denver, whatever. So your cell phone, if it's on you, your slave device, it pings off a tower that's already connected to this. And what would happen is you start getting inundated with ads, pro-Israel ads, for the rest of the day, or the rest of the time you're in this area. So they know you're targeting you. They got your link, they got your stuff, and they're just sending stuff towards you now. That's what all that means right there. Goals: comprehensive digital targeting and heavy geofencing to all Christian churches in select markets. Digital support: geofence and digitally target Christians who attend any U.S. megachurch in our target markets and beyond. Use digital tools to identify and show pro-Israel, anti-Palestinian messages to U.S. Christians and Catholics in Spanish and English. So they're going to use that in the geofencing part. Now, I have the link that talks about, that has all the churches. I didn't see a Catholic church. Well, we can always look again, especially if they're already targeted. So just that right there, if you know anybody that's a Catholic church in the Southwest United States, send them this tonight or tomorrow or the next day, whenever, and let them know, hey guys, you are targeted for propaganda. There's no way you can stop this. Maybe if you no, there's no way you can stop it. As long as you don't sign up for it, you're fine. Now, if you sign up for it, then they got you. So I don't know. There's probably one or two churches that will do it. And like I said, I didn't see the Catholic part until just now, and I looked at the churches earlier today. Didn't see any. Physical staff present in Christian colleges, Christian seminaries, churches, and more. Hire students part-time to table events and distribute information that we compile, aka propaganda. Deploy the mobile 10-7 trailer at Christian university churches. Questions, ask me, merch handouts, and more. There's the mobile 10-7 experience. It's literally a mobile truck. You go in there and you have highlights the atrocities from 10-7. VR headset, set pieces, full-length TVs for interactive experience. Don't you love this? The traveling team, yay! Is that a bar? No, it's where you get t-shirts, swag, things like that. Here's more of the 10-7 experience. Put on your mega glasses. What is that at the bottom? Wrapped with images of Israel or the Western Wall. Hey, so you can kiss the wall. Christian events. Possible Christian celebrity spokesman. Hey, there's Tim Tebow. John Voight. Isn't he Catholic? Chris Pratt, Stefan Curry. I know he screwed up. It's my name is spelled exactly like his. It's Stephen Curry. Now, because he's that way, they call him Stefan. But even though people back in the day used to tell me they would call me Stefan, but it was always Stephen. Clayton Kershaw, the great pitcher for the LA Dodgers, right? 316 or whatever on his hat. Even though he doesn't play with it, he just sits in the dugout with us on, and we think, hey, yeah, there's a superhero. Yeah, he's doing this. Well, it's possible, I guess. Pastor Rick Warren, Pastor Greg Laurie, additional big name pastors, young Christian college athletes, and influencers. But yeah, Chris Pratt is big one. He got divorced and remarried. Jesus loves you. John Voight. Yeah. Again, Tim Tebow. I love how they throw in baseball play. He did play minor league for the Mets. Here's a show by Works LLC invoice. Christmas messaging. This has anybody thrown up yet? I was just wondering. Oh, they don't have. Let me pull up the PDF. Clown Plan right there, streaming live. There it is right here. I'll put the PDF in the chat if anybody wants to look at it as well. So that's all the stuff that they scanned right there. If you scroll down, there's a list of churches. There they are right there. Okay. See? See. Let's see. I'll scroll in a little bit. Now, these are all the churches that are in on it already. So everyone listed on here will have the geofencing working against them now. And it's the name, city, state, and how big they are. Dream City Church, 20,000 people. Christ Church of the Valley, 23,000 people. Again, I looked through this already, and I did not see Catholic anywhere. Again, I could have just overlooked it. If you want to look through it and find there's plenty of First Baptists. Oh, Gateway Church is 28,000. If you want to look through this and see if there's any Catholic ones, and I'm still looking through it now. Looking, maybe if I skipped, I missed it. Look for the C. Yeah, that doesn't help. If you want to go through it and find out, if not, just warn your local pastor. Your local about if you're in the southwest of these United States, be on the lookout for any of this kind of like a Danger Will Robinson type deal thing. And I said, this is the first time I'm looking on a computer. I looked on it on my slave device earlier today, waiting for calls open so I could return some Amazon stuff, but I still don't see anything that resembles Catholic in here. Again, if you see it, yell out in the back. Nope, don't see anything. Anyway, it'll be in the show notes. Here's Patrick Coffin talking about Jack Posobiec tells President Trump that he fears for his life and could be the risk of the next assassination attack. Good grief, man. Everything's got to be about you. It's like the one line about someone wrote about Bishop Martin. He's got to be the guy in the coffin and the bride at every wedding. Come on, man. He's sitting there talking about the Portland thing. I want to be the next risk for assassination stuff. You tweet more than a 15-year-old girl. Trump issues deranged call to jail blue state governor and mayor. Once a future king, President DJT called for the Chicago mayor Brandon Johnson and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker to be jailed Wednesday morning while accusing the Democrats of failing to protect ICE agents. Quote, Chicago mayor should be in jail for failing to protect ICE agents. Isn't that so Lincolnian of Donald? Trump wrote in the Truth Post social without providing any evidence to support his allegation. Governor Pritzker also. Again, you're calling for the imprisoning people just because they're on the other side of you. That's Again, very Lincolnian of you. Here's that link from Responsible Statecraft on Israel wants to hire Chris Pratt and Steph Curry. The Jewish state is seeking to target Christian evangelical churches for support using celebrities and anti-Palestinian message in a new $3.2 million deal. Again, why is I'm not a news channel. Why ain't any of the news channels bringing stuff like this up? You hear any one of the Protestant pastor guys bringing this up? Is any of the other big news shows talking about Lifeside? Hey, where are you guys at bringing this up? Is anybody else bringing this up? Why? I don't want to do this all the time, but no one else is talking about this. Literally. I mean, this is part of what we saw earlier, so it lets you know that it's legit. IRS will furlough nearly half of its workforce as the government shutdown enters a second week. Wish the IRS would go the way of the dodo bird. The IRS will furlough nearly half of its workforce on Wednesday as part of the ongoing government shutdown, which I hope never reopens, according to the updated contingency plan posted to its website. Most IRS operations are closed, the agency said in a separate letter to its workers. News comes after once and future King President DJ Trump and Congress failed to strike an agreement to fund federal operations, and the government shutdown has entered its second week with no discernible endgame in sight. Party, party, party. Party. You know what happens when the government shuts down? Nothing. Sun still comes up. Your life goes on. And we still bomb people. Don't worry. That's still going on. If you're worrying, if you're losing any sleep, man, I hope we bomb somebody today. Don't worry. Still going on. 83% of all buildings in Gaza destroyed by Israeli forces. Because, 83% of all the buildings were Hamas. So 81,000 housing, 83% of Gaza building, including about 81,000 housing units, have been damaged by Israeli strikes and military forces, according to the UN Satellite Center analysis. Is the entire area Hamas? Are they all terrorists? Look at that guy. That's clearly a terrorist right there. I think I see a baby somewhere in there. Clearly, it's a terrorist. When do people start going, hey, this is an ethnic cleansing going on? This is literally getting rid of the people and then turning it into a 15-minute city, as we've talked about for weeks and months. Oh, wait a minute. Time out. I thought this was just a Brandon thing. I should have put this on Told You So Tuesday. I waited the next week. Student loan forgiveness is back. Student loan forgiveness is back on for 2 million borrowers. The Education Department is resuming federal student loan forgiveness processing for borrowers on income-based repayment. Eligible borrowers received emails that their services will process relief over the next several months. I didn't get that email. Those who want to opt out of the relief must do so by October 21st. And whoever opts out of the relief, I don't want any help. Who's going to do that? After months on pause, a key student loan forgiveness program is back, baby. Over the past week, student loan borrowers on income-based repayment plans have started to receive emails from the Department of Education notifying them that they've met the payment threshold to qualify for debt cancellation. I even checked junk mail. I didn't see that. The emails, multiple of which were reviewed by Business Insider, had the subject line, "You're eligible to have your student loans discharged." It said that the department is working with the borrower servicer to process the relief over the next several months, and the department will send the borrower's discharge information to the servicer after October 21st. As the second quarter of 2025, 2 million borrowers were enrolled in IBR per federal student aid data. For the department had paused it since July, saying in a federal student aid notice that the department needed time to ensure payment counts were accurate. The department said in its email that a reason to opt out might be to avoid a state tax liability, but noted that those who do opt out are required to continue making payments on the loans. By contacting their loan servicer, and saying they are not interested in the relief. Dude, I would hit the relief button so fast that it'd make your head spin. Eric Prince requested funding from Pope Leo XIV to protect Christians in Nigeria. The founder of the private army Blackwater called for combating Islamic terrorism in Africa. The founder of the private army Blackwater, Eric Prince, requested Pope Leo XIV to provide funding to protect Christians in Nigeria, a country where persecution against this region by Islamic terrorism is increasingly severe. In a post on social media network X, Prince said, "Sir, I have a better idea. Why don't you fund my colleagues so they can protect Nigerian Christians from the Muslims who are massacring them?" This is a solid 16-minute clip on what happened on October 7th. If you're interested in it, check beneath this. You'll see the link. It's in the show notes. You'll see the x.com double down news. I played it in entirely, but like I said, 16 minutes, and they go through pretty much everything, right? And notice they'll also say the Hannibal directive wasn't sure. What is the Hannibal directive? What happened? There was a guy named Hannibal, and he ended up getting POW'd, and it looked bad on Israel. So their plan is when they do Hannibal means it's better if they just kill them all than get a black guy. So the Hannibal directive is literally just kill them all type deal. You hear a Hannibal directive, and they said admit, there's the next link up here for me, is they admitted that they did the Hannibal directive. Okay, I don't know, and we just conspiracy theory, whatever. Conspiracy facts. Here, and this guy goes through 16 minutes of all the things that went down during that, all the questions, the lies that were told through the babies getting torn out of wombs and everything else. Babies lying, all this other stuff. Great little clip. Check it out. Well, it's like I said, 16 minutes long. Oh yeah, I thought I had that one next. There it is. Yeah, we'll do that next. We'll keep it all together. I thought I had it up there. Here's the cradle. 2 years ago, November 19th, Israel admits it killed its own at Nova Music Festival. A police investigation shows Israeli Apache helicopters opened fire on attendees at the Nova Music Festival during the October 7th Hamas attack. Done. Here's the link. Boom. State reps bill would punish colleges financially if they don't rename roads after Charlie Kirk. There's some Kirk stuff. That's some weird stuff. They're wanting parks renamed after him, boats renamed after him, ships named after him, cities named. I don't know about the cities, roads named after him. The threat that failure to comply would result in the withholding of state funding gives the bill real teeth. Now, for a guy that they say was for free speech and all that, it's just not force. You better rename that road or we're going to take away money from you. Florida State Rep Kevin Still has fielded a bill that would order institutions of higher education to rename roads after the late conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was not from Florida, and I have no idea why this is even important. The bill has real teeth since it stipulates that the state funds would be withheld from schools that failed to comply because emotional nonsense. I mean, why? State funds shall be withheld from any state university or Florida college system institution whose board of trustees fails to redesignate the roadway or portion of the railroad listed in subsections 1 and 2, respectively, within 90 days of the effective date of this act. What insane stuff. Here's James Lee. The assassinations of JFK, RFK, MLK, and now Charlie Kirk, CJK, all follow the same pattern. Bullets that defy physics, strange decoys, disappearing crime scene evidence. This all reeks of deep state coordination, foreign influence, and an institution cover-up. As we said before, I don't know who killed the guy, but it sure wasn't this Robinson guy. And notice all the weird stuff. It's like a full court press by everybody on their side to push that. Oh, you got to be Candace. I hope Candace burns the whole thing down. And I don't know Candace from the Man in the Moon. I have never listened to any of her stuff except for a couple of things that she's brought up on the situation here. I don't trust anybody from TPUSA at all. And definitely, if anybody's listening, I guarantee most of everyone, there's normies that are going, nothing. This does not add up. Again, goes back to this. What, you're forcing people to keep change a road? Anyway, and James, I bet he goes, yep, there he is. The same people behind every long gunman. I'll click on it. I'll watch it later in the background. Sometime it's 11 minutes. I'll listen to it later in the night, probably. Let's check us. We can't believe they say anything. Yeah, of course not. Anytime their lips are moving, they lie. Forward to pause F1 because there was a video a buddy of mine sent me that he's a wizard, and he found this one clip, and I didn't know that there's no burial site. They haven't buried the body. They have no one's ever brought up where the funeral. They had the memorial service. Where's the funeral? Where's the burial? Where's any of that? Uh, they mentioned about the kids too. They said notice that none of the kids are ever looking at camera, and I'm all about not looking in a camera or not having the kids on because of the internet and having their faces all over, and they because you take the faces and now it's meta and all that using that info. They are great at that. I mean, to the point that it's beyond impressive. Because even to the people that don't do it, they at least have the little faces covered up. They have it so that they're never facing the camera. It's remarkable stuff. Anyway, it was on Instagram. It had a bunch of stuff that just didn't add up. But yeah, I mean, again, we're never gonna know, obviously, but it definitely wasn't it's definitely not the official narrative. I've actually had a priest send me a sermon to post up, and he asked me to. I was like, "Hey," I told him, "Father, this is a good sermon, but I just can't post it up. I don't believe that he was killed for saying that, talking about marriage, marriage and family. No one gets killed for that. That's what the TV's trying to tell us to do that. But if that's the thing, why is more people getting killed for speaking about the family union and all that? No, he was going against Israel. Now I don't know if Israel did it. There's no proof. There's evidence. There's no hardcore proof. But to tell me that he got killed because of him being on the culture war side of us, yeah, I just don't buy that, especially with the entire racist narrative. Oh yeah, I already skipped. I didn't even bring it up. Ford to pause F-150 EV production after aluminum plant fire. Shocking clip shows masked ICE agents, ice baby, shoot pastor in the face with a pepper ball. That's different. The video shows three masked, heavily armed ICE agents in tactical gear as they stand atop the building during an immigration protest last month near a Chicago area U.S. ICE facility. The moment a Chicago pastor was pelted with pepper balls at an immigration protest. The disturbing video captured a moment when the Chicago pastor was pelted with pepper balls at an immigration passport. If he busts up a statue of Our Lady, you can. I mean, I'm not gonna. Yeah, he got pelted with a pepper ball. Okay. Let's see. Not now. Here's Mother Jones. ICE is sending people to a prison in Africa's only absolute monarchy inside the legal black home in Astanwa, where Trump is sending detainees. You know what? I actually talked about this a month ago. Hey, Mother Jones is finally getting up on it. It's a very lefty website or a blog, if you don't know what Mother Jones is. And they actually wrote a thing about secession for California last week. I think we put it up. And it was decent, but there was some flaws obviously on there. But it's good to see that the lefties are talking about breaking away. They should, and we can actually the DC can actually kick a state out if they want to. African prison sounds nice. Yeah. It's the lion prison. So like alligator Alcatraz, it's lion Alcatraz. So you're in the middle of the bush, and if you escape, you got bloodthirsty lions and tigers sitting around waiting for you to get out, and you got to outrun them. So, I mean, unless you're Kenyan, that's how I always joke. So that's how the Kenyans train is they have to get chased by lions all day long. So they're fast cross country runners. Bad joke. I don't get it. Already did this one. I didn't know we'd put a double up. Florida man accused of intentionally starting a fire that destroyed Pacific Palisades. Apparently, it was an Uber driver, too. It was like the most destructive inferno in LA history, which charred a devastating path through the Pacific Palisades and Malibu in early January, was a flare-up of a fire that an Uber driver intentionally set days earlier near a popular hiking area, federal prosecutors alleged Wednesday. Authorities announced that the arrest of the Uber driver, 29-year-old Jonathan Rickenneck, I don't know, who is suspected of setting the initial fire early New Year's Day that eventually became the Palisades fire. Why would an Uber driver on New Year's Day, early New Year's Day, stop making money to cause a fire? That was like one of the only nights that I would drive would be either New Year's Eve or sometimes Halloween. There's your Uber driver for allegedly sparking the fire. Yeah, that's peak. Was reported at 12:17 a.m. on New Year's Day. I mean, that's almost peak time to drive. If he's an Uber driver, what were you doing there, not driving? I don't know. Here's Chinese electric cars. It's electric, boogie woogie woo woo, now account for over 50% of all car sales worldwide, according to the Wall Street Journal. No lights, no workers, just machines. This is China's dark factory pumping out vehicle chassis like candy. Again, eventually they'll take over the all. If you don't have to work anymore, you won't be working because these are the machines. I mean, you don't have to get any people to do it because they're pumping out, like they said, like candy. More product, less overhead, bada bing. Here's China's EVs are innovative and surprisingly affordable. These are the results of investing in tech and infrastructure instead of bombing third world countries. Touche. So instead of bombing third world countries like we do, it's our national pastime. These guys are making some. They're making the Autobots. That's impressive. Now it will take over and make sure that you don't. That's impressive parking right there. Now it won't let you out of the car if. Wow, I could do that. That's in a car like that. Yeah, I can make that fit. Even backing it up, I can't make that happen. How they did that? Probably need new tires if you keep doing that for 100 times a day or a week. I don't know about you guys. This is more of an impressive car commercial than anything you see on U.S. TVs. If anybody wants to buy me one, just test it out. Just hit me up and we can work it out. Tel Aviv Cruz wants to make it easier to sue the government for censorship. Hey, Senator says he hopes reaction to Jimmy Kimmel's suspension might help his new bill find bipartisan support. GOP senators increasingly anxious about Trump's aggressive use of the National Guard. His incredibly unconstitutional use of the National Guard. But hey, yeah, these emperors got an emperor. Here's Pam Bondi. Now says she never had the Epstein list, despite the fact that she was claiming that the list is sitting on her desk. Quote, our memo on Epstein clearly points out that there was no client list, she stressed. Now, if you want to watch this again, this is mostly is just her yelling back the contempt that she had. Look at her, like her facial expressions. Like Durbin would ask her a question and she would completely reject them, not even answer anything back and go, how dare you? Almost like a Greta Thunberg type deal. Yeah, there was another one that she did too. Oh, this was kind of funny. Just keeping track of the score here. 0. I thought that he had more. No, other people have more on her. 0 arrests, 109 Fox News appearances. Yeah, they did more. She had a bunch of those, and she flat out acted like a 13-year-old girl. I mean, look at the look that she's given. I mean, he asked her a question, and she just like, "How dare you tell me you did this?" And well, this was a yes or no question on things like that. Lesser known breast cancer surgeon in U.S. report warns, hey, what happened in the last couple of years that caused something like this? Something that goes into some shoulder? Oh, yeah, yeah. Anytime you hear about stuff like that, lesser known or, speed up on this, an estimated 33,600 women will be diagnosed with lobular breast cancer or invasive lobular carcinoma this year, according to new projections by the American Cancer Society. The report finds that incident rates of ILC which starts in the milk-producing glands of her breast, have increased more steeply than all other breast cancers combined from 2012 to 2021. First ever chronic fatigue syndrome blood test achieves 96% accuracy. There's another way to get out of that is by getting up, doing things. In a nutshell, the 3D DNA blood test identified with about 96% accuracy, stronger signals, blah, blah, blah. Test bills and existing lab platforms for cancer diagnosis, but remains experimental. Some ways to get out of that. We'll get into the health section of the program. Mimosa. You ever seen a mimosa tree? It looks like a cheerleader pom pom. You make a tincture out of that, or you can eat the flower. That's like a boost of energy. They call it what's it like oh shoot, I forget the nickname already. But mimosa, it grows wild down here in the southeast. But yeah, you find a flower, it grows for about 6 months of flowers. I already got a tincture made. Went to a tree that was way off the beaten path, grabbed a bunch of flowers, stuck it down there, threw some vodka over, let it sit there for about 5 to 6 weeks. Bada bing. And you just take a little dab and give it about 20 minutes. You'll start getting a little more happy days are back again type deal with things. So yeah, if you're sitting underneath fake lights, fake air, looking at a computer, you're a slave pretty much to your cell phone, whatever like that, you're gonna get that way. I went duck hunting today. Was it the video game duck hunting? Because I love that video game duck hunt. Quack, 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 poof, poof, with the little doggy. There's a measles outbreak in Columbus, Ohio. Okay. If you're worried about measles, Dr. Speaking of that, let me put on measles. If you're worried about measles, I'll put this into the chat for you. It gives you symptoms, viral infections, vitamin A, how to get over it, all that stuff. For treatment of measles, vitamin A is given once a day for 2 days at the following doses. There you go. It's also crucial to seek medical care immediately if you or your child exhibits any of the following: powerful cough, severe headaches, drooling, hearing difficulty. My kids have perpetual hearing difficulty, so they might have just perpetual measles. Just kidding. Kudzu, it helps out. You know the kudzu, it takes over the entire world. That kudzu, it helps. Shortens case of the measles. Here's like kudzu decoction. You ever thought, hey, wow, kudzu does this? Yarrow. Yarrow's great. There's a tincture for it right there. Yarrow reduces duration of measles. I made a tincture of that. Colds and fevers. It's quick to bring down a fever. Either chew raw yarrow or drink yarrow tea to induce sweating and reduce fevers. Easing symptoms. Oatmeal baths. Compressed chamomile and yarrow teas for conjunctivitis. Sage throat spray. Things like that. Stocking your herbal medicine cabinet. Sum up, here's some stuff you want on hand if you're worried about measles. Kudzu, elderberry tincture. That's just for everything. If you don't make an elderberry tincture or have it, I don't know, you're not really serious. Here's the link for this, by the way. Yeah, I use, my kid had a cut right here. She cut herself, bleeding pretty good. I have some yarrow out front, grabbed it, made a poultice out of it, stuck it on there, bleeding stopped like that. Cod liver oil, oatmeal for bass, dried chamomile, yarrow, sage, and echinacea herbs. I got all those growing out front and back. Garlic and mullein ear drops. That's great to have. I have a thing of mullein for coughs or ears. Vitamin A, raw honey, which you can get anywhere. Well, take that back. Any of the local places where you usually have raw honey, or do it yourself. Cotton balls and small spray bottle. Easy to do. And if you just want to get the concentrated ones, click the elderberry and yarrow, and you can buy it from her. Denmark plans to ban social media for users under 15 as Prime Minister says platforms are stealing childhood. And I'm going, why is anybody under 15 on social media? NCAA in sports, closer to allowing college athletes to bet on pro sports. Well, you already bet on college sports anyways, and then with the apps and all that, you got ESPN all over the place doing it. So eventually they're going to have that happen. UNC North Carolina exploring potential Bill Belichick exit strategy as weird rumors surface. What is the weird rumors? I do not know. What is it looking as well? Has reported being weird or distant with his staff, and that some coaches were unable to get a hold of him during the team's bye week. Cornerbacks coach Armin Harkins was suspended for allegedly giving extra benefits to players, such as sideline passes for family members. These guys get darn cars and houses just for showing up. He gets suspended for giving away a ticket. How do you make that work? Anyways, this day in history, 1871, the Great Chicago Fire, 1871, killed 300 people. 2005, killing at least 79,000 people. An earthquake struck the Pakistan administrative portion of the Kashmir region. 2004, American domestic lifestyle innovator Martha Stewart reported to federal prison in West By God, Virginia, to begin her 5-month sentence for insider trading. 2001, in Italy's worst civilian air disaster in nearly 30 years, a Cessna took a wrong turn on the taxiway in Linate Airport in Milan and crashed into an SAS airliner about to take off, which exploded, killing 118. 1982, Polish legislator dissolved the Trade Union Solidarity, which consequently became an underground organization and played a key role in ending communist rule in Poland. 1970, Alexander Solzhenitsyn was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. 1967, British politician Clemente Attlee, who was serving Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, presided over the establishment of a welfare state in his country and granting of independence to India, died at age 84. 1967, a prominent communist figure in the Cuban Revolution and Southern American guerrilla leader Che Guevara was captured and later shot to death by a Bolivian area. That's all, folks. 1957, an accident in the Windscale nuclear facility in northwestern England caused a fire that burned for 16 hours and left 10 tons of radioactive fuel melted in the reactor core. 1918, Corporal Alvin York single-handedly captured 132 Germans and killed another 25 during his Metz Argonne offensive in World War I. 1895, Argentine politician Juan Perón, who served as president of Don't Cry for the Argentina, and founded and led the Peronist movement, was born. 1871, the city of Peshtigo, Wisconsin, burnt to the ground in hours, killing 1,152 people. 1856, in Canton, Chinese officials boarded a British registered ship, the Arrow, arrested several Chinese crew members who were later released, and allegedly lowered the British flag, an event contributed to the start of the Second Opium War, in which Britain and France battled China. In 1801, Clemens von Merschenach was named Foreign Minister of Austria. He received the country's standing in European affairs, and his organization of the Congress of Vienna maintained the balance of power in Europe. He was later wrote the song Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do. Just kidding. All I could think was sound of music on that. Anyways, have a great rest of the night. I went a little extra long because of the first one. Click like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. Appreciate your time tonight. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Wow. See you earlier. Hopefully I'll get it early. Maybe not. If I do, we'll see. Have a great rest of the night. Talk to you later. Fidelium.tv for your app. Have a great night. God love you.